What would happen if you took a taxi in the middle of the night and encountered a faceless driver? To test people's reactions, the production team set up a prank that would absolutely scare you out of your wits. The driver was dressed as a faceless man, waiting to give passengers a huge surprise. First up were three resident singers. After getting into the car, they chatted happily with the driver, completely unaware that he was the faceless monster. When the car reached the station, the driver suddenly turned his head, and the three were instantly frozen in shock. The entire car was filled with screams and panic. One man was so terrified that he started crying, creating an extremely awkward scene. The production team quickly explained it was a prank, and while everyone was relieved, the man said, "I'll never take a taxi again." Next were two women who had just finished dancing at a club. They got in the car without noticing anything unusual about the driver, and even sang along during the ride. At the station, they casually asked the driver for his contact information, but just as they were about to get out of the car, the driver suddenly turned his head, and a terrifying atmosphere filled the car. The two women instantly opened the door and ran away. The production team quickly followed up with an explanation, and the women breathed a sigh of relief, but they still said, "This kind of show is really life-threatening." The next target was a young man, as the production team thought his mental resilience would be strong. At that moment, he was engrossed in his phone. But when the driver suddenly turned his head, the man screamed, dropping his phone and rushing out of the car. The production team quickly explained, and while he calmed down, he still felt the prank was too scary. Finally, a bald man who had just finished a night shift got in the car. He immediately started to sleep and didn't notice anything unusual about the faceless driver. When they reached the destination, the driver abruptly turned his head, and the bald man nearly jumped out of his skin, almost having a heart attack. He sighed helplessly. "I'm already exhausted from work. You scared me again. This is killing me." This was the faceless driver's midnight horror prank. Would you dare to take the challenge?